Okay, hello and welcome to a special one-off for the game's 10th anniversary as we decide to take the night shift for a week at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So, let's get right on into the game. Family Pizzeria are looking for a security guard to work the night shift. 12 AM to 6 AM, monitor cameras, ensure safety of equipment and animatronic characters. Not responsible for dismemberment or injury. I said that the wrong way around. Okay, so, let's get right on into the game, and fortunately the first night is extremely simple, and I will just let Phone Guy talk, like, for the next few minutes. Actually, I quickly want to set the game into windowed mode for my own convenience, so the game audio might cut out for a second. But, there we go. Okay, there we go. Fantastic.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact, so I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children and we need to show them a little respect, right? Okay. So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know? Now, concerning your safety, the only real risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death. The only parts of you that would likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and teeth that pop out the front of the mask. Yeah, they don't tell you these things when you sign up. But hey, first station of the breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras and remember to close the doors only if absolutely necessary. Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
Okay, so, basically, I have owned this game for a very, very long time. I have owned this game since pretty much soon after it came out. I got it on the Halloween sale. I basically bought it in the Halloween sale of 2014 on Steam. And to be totally honest, I have never actually played it all the way through. Basically, when I went to load up the game, Steam said I had played a grand total of 17 minutes. Which I can only assume means I played Night 1. So basically, my assumption is I played Night 1. Hi, Bonnie, how you doing? I assume I played Night 1, died at the end of Night 2, and then went, okay, yeah, you know, played a little bit, got jump scared, that's fine, I've seen the game now. And just never played it again after that. However, obviously, I do have one slight advantage here, because I'm playing this game 10 years after it came out. I do have, you know, kind of 10 years of built-up knowledge of a extremely dedicated fanbase who have kind of figured out basically every strategy imaginable to make this game very, very easy. So basically, I'm just hoping that I can replicate these strategies and not die. Because, you know, dying would kind of suck, because I do know that the nights in this one are really long. I think they're like 8.5 minutes or something. I think that's also part of why I never came back to playing this. Is after I died that first time, it's like, man, I just lost a whole bunch of progress, and it seems like it just took ages. Also, Bonnie has been stood there for ages. I know that as I like bring the cameras up, I know that that kind of freezes them in place. I'll be using this a lot later on in the game to just try and nullify Foxy. And I think Chica can only move like one room at a time or something. I don't remember all of the details on how this game works, but I do know that as I go, I should be pretty safe. And yeah, basically we are already more than halfway through the first night, and then we should hopefully be okay. I'll be keeping the camera on whatchamacallit, Pirates Cove for all of night 2. Ooh, and I should just note in advance, I'm going to be recording this in 5 sections. I'll be recording night 1 and 2 in one go, then 3 and 4 in one go, then 5, then 6, then 7. Because obviously, well, okay, disclaimer, I don't know if I'll be, you know, competent enough at the game to fully manage night 7, but we'll see how it goes. Because so far this isn't going too badly. Also, I am keeping an eye on Pirates Cove, because I do know that it is a very... I think you have to, like, try to, but I know that Foxy can become active on night 1. I do remember that much. And, you know, again, I may have... Okay, so, I guess just a bit of background on my entire history of the series. Obviously, I watched the first 4 games. Like, I watched the first one with great interest. Second one was where I was super interested. Third one was where I kind of fell off a bit. Fourth one was where I kind of really lost interest. And weirdly enough, in the years that followed, FNAF 4 has kind of become one that I'm maybe the most interested in. Also, hi Bonnie, how are you doing? Actually made it to the... Wow, we actually came to the door. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, also, I'm probably at the point of the night where I could probably just close this door and AFK, because I know that Chica can't come in unless I look at the cameras. So I can just kind of sit here and ramble, I guess. So yeah, I watched the first game, watched the second one with great interest, watched the third one with kind of fell off it a bit, was a bit less interested. I kind of sat through 4 but wasn't really feeling it. And then I kind of just disengaged from the series for ages. Like, I know Sister Location got announced, and then it was, and like a year went past, and then I saw it on Steam and was like, oh, this game actually came out, huh? Then Pizzeria Simulator happened. So, full disclosure, I have sat and watched the first 4 games a good few times. I've never actually sat down and watched all of Sister Location or Pizzeria Simulator. I probably should. Because I know that obviously there's a mountain of lore and everything just surrounding the entire series. But with that, we are just about done with night 1. And yeah, hopefully we should pretty much just breeze through this. But yeah, so... and then after that, I will say, I've never played Help Wanted, the VR ones. Mostly because I know there's Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2. And they're both VR, I think. Yeah, never played those, but they seem interesting. I think these games would actually lend themselves really well to VR. And then Security Breach exists. I'll be honest, I haven't really seen much about Security Breach. All I really know is that it was apparently a buggy, glitchy mess. The Ruin DLC apparently fixed a lot of things, and the meme where they got the VA for Freddy to do with Gregory, have you heard of Among Us? I found that kind of funny. And with that, we've successfully survived our first night, by basically doing nothing. So, on to night 2, and I'll be back once Phone Guy finishes his call again.
Hello?
Okay, so now we are off into night 2. The strategy for night 2 that I'm going to go with is basically just keep the... I'll check in on the show stage every now and then just to make sure that Chica hasn't moved yet, and then I'll start paying attention to the right side once she has. But also, I mostly just want to keep a focus on Pirate's Cove to make sure that Foxy isn't getting out, because Foxy is potentially dangerous. I know that Freddy doesn't move at all until night 3, so from night 3 onwards, I'm going to be just trying to mitigate Freddy as much as possible. Basically, night 3, 4, and 5 are pretty much just going to be, hey, can I just make sure that Freddy and Foxy just don't do anything? If I can just kind of limit Freddy and Foxy from being able to do anything and just stop them in their tracks, basically, I should be in the clear. So, basically, yeah, that should hopefully be okay. And I know that I don't need to specifically be on Pirate's Cove to stun Foxy. It's maybe a little bit weird referring to it as a stun, but in terms of practicality, that's what it is. Also, I can tell that Bonnie is still there because of that shadow. So, when he wants to leave, that would be wonderful for me. Buddy, do you want to leave? There we go, thank you. Okay, so it is 2 AM, and I'm making okay power balance, I guess. Okay, Chica has now left. So I'm gonna start paying attention to both of these now. But I'm basically just gonna go, you know, camera, light, or camera, light, camera. Who knows? I might mix it up every now and then. Basically, though, we should be able to just breeze through this pretty easily. Yeah, and Foxy is still not popping out of Pirate's Cove at all, which is always good for me, because honestly, I feel like I can probably handle Bonnie and Chica. Dealing with the kind of wild card that is Foxy is something that I would quite like to avoid if at all possible. Mostly because, you know, in a sense, Foxy is kind of a reaction check. Oh, hey, it's fair. I'll be honest, the It's Me pop-ups will probably get me more than any jump scare in this game. Because, the jump scares are avoidable. You can avoid them by just playing well. But, like, the It's Me's, I think they just happen randomly. I don't know if there's a specific cause for those. Because, obviously, I know that there's, obviously, you know, story and lore implications and everything behind it. I don't know how much of it was, you know, realistically planned at this point, because, I know that the first game, I know that there is, like, periodically the thing that can be like, hey, the missing children incident. But also, at the same time, I don't think the grand overarching plot was, quite planned out from the first game, you know? Oh, I feel like, theories kind of started running rampant a bit afterwards. You know, a bit after the first game came out, and then it kind of just went with it from there on out. Also, I should probably note, while I'm playing, as soon as I opened the game, I did click Alt-Enter to put it into windowed mode, because I personally feel a lot more comfortable playing every game in windowed mode. And also, basically, periodically, the sound might, yeah, just kind of go out for a second. That is, basically, I kind of just overshot with the mouse and ended up just clicking out the tab. Don't worry about it. It might happen every now and then across all the nights, but basically, just want to mention that in advance. But we are probably about to go to 4 AM soon, I think. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Chica has not made it to the door once yet. That's pretty good. Foxy is still not popping out of Pirate's Cove at all. I love it when that happens, because if I can keep Foxy mitigated or even just nullified, that will make my life a lot easier. But yeah, basically, I'll probably mention this a few more times as I play through this, but, I feel like I would have probably died by now, or at least be struggling quite a bit, if I wasn't playing this 10 years later, because even though, obviously, I haven't played the games before, I have kind of sat and watched a whole bunch of them. Oh, hey, Foxy's actually popping out of Pirate's Cove. He probably won't have time to make a run for it at any point. But, you know, just something to keep an eye on. But yeah, so I have watched these games a lot, but I've never actually sat down and played it properly. Oh, hey, Chica, how you doing, buddy? And pretty much my takeaway is, I'm glad that I'm playing this now, because this is going to be so much easier. Mostly because I have effectively the culmination of 10 years of a super dedicated fanbase's, combined strategic knowledge available to me, which obviously is going to make this a lot easier than it would have been otherwise. Because realistically, yeah, I have access to all of the knowledge gained from players over the course of the last 10 years. This is going to be a lot easier. Also, I think I should probably be starting to check these cameras a little faster, because Foxy might be about to go. And I don't want that on night 2. Which would be pretty bad, actually. But hey, I guess it is. Ultimately, it does partially come down to RNG. And that's 5 AM. Honestly, I have enough power left that I can just close the door and be fine. I know that this is basically going to be how I'm going to approach most nights until I feel until it gets genuinely dangerous. This is how I'm going to just approach it. I'm going to get a 5 AM, close the left door, and just kind of AFK. Because realistically, it seems like it works. I can't get jumped from the right-hand side. Unless there has suddenly been a change to the game code where Foxy will suddenly just pop in from the right-hand side. Honestly, I think that could be a kind of fun mod. Just to shuffle it around. It's like, okay, now, basically just make it so Bonnie and Chica attack from the left, and Freddy and Bonnie and Foxy from the right, and Chica and Freddy from the left. Just kind of flip where they attack from. I kind of wonder how much that would mess with people. Either way, we are now pretty much completely safe. I can just AFK in here. Just click the nose a couple of times for funsies, I guess. And we are good to go. No. Honestly, I'm going to be totally honest, until about 10 seconds ago when I started moving the mouse again, I wasn't even looking at the screen. I don't know if Foxy made a run and hit on the door or anything. But either way, we are in the clear. Oh, there we go. He is going to be running down the corridor. Let's quickly see him. Oh, we missed him. Was that about a diver? Oh well, whatever. It's fine. Either way, that is night 2 complete. Okay, so, into night 3 we go. And once again, I will be back just as soon as the phone call ends. So I will be right back. Okay, so, night 3 is pretty much kind of a flip to night 2, because Bonnie is not going to move until about 3 AM, I think. And basically, I just need to pay attention to Chica. So basically, what I'm going to do is periodically check in on Pirate's Cove. Really? Is he... Man, I have not been checking this enough, have I? Okay. This is not growing too well. I thought I was doing pretty okay. Foxy containment, but I guess not. I mean, to be fair, you know, it's only been 1 day, and he did actually get out, so what am I on about? Okay. On the plus side, basically, as long as I keep... pretty much, night 3 is where Freddy first becomes active. However, unlike with Foxy, who you have to... Basically, Foxy kind of gets stunned if you just turn the cameras on in general. Freddy, you need to keep the camera on him, because obviously he's the star of the show. You know, he is, well, he is the title character. And Chica has not popped up at this door yet, so I'm pretty okay about that, to be totally honest. And as long as Foxy doesn't move, I'm gonna feel pretty confident and okay. And, okay, we should be closing in on about 2 AM now. Basically, I'm kind of just going from my power percentages here. So, as long as I have 66 at 2 AM, I feel like I should be okay. And quickly check in on Foxy again. And hopefully we should be able to just repeat this. Bonnie should move around at 3 AM, but after that we should be good to go. Okay. Okay, Foxy still just popping his head out of Pirate's Cove, but so, you know, periodically we are going to be checking in on him. Also, I'll be checking in on him in general, fairly regularly, but like, whenever Chica turns up at the door, I will also take my time to check in on him then. Also, it is like 2 AM and Chica has not made it to the door yet, so I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, realistically, now that I've said that, she's gonna pull up to this door and stay for like an hour. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. And honestly, as long as Foxy does not leave, as long as Foxy does not run at me, I feel like I should be okay. Like, I know how to deal with a Foxy attack. It's mostly just like the momentary panic that I get from it, you know? I mean, I say that like I've had to encounter one before. But hey, we'll get there. We will make it through here without too much hassle, hopefully. Bonnie is still not on the move. And actually, because we're flashing up for camera so often, we might even be able to stall Bonnie a little bit longer as well. I don't know if that's how that works, but hey, it might be. And basically, as long as Freddy doesn't move, I feel a lot safer and more comfortable. Okay, so we are now halfway through the night. Bonnie is gonna start moving soon. There we go. Okay, Bonnie has indeed started to move. Oof. I think. There we go. Bonnie has now started to move. Oof. And I still want to keep an eye on old Fredbear over there. I know that Freddy and Fredbear are technically two different animatronics, but you get what I mean. Okay, we are halfway through the night. Once again, my approach is going to just be, hey, I'm going to try to hold out until 5 AM and then just close the left door, and I should hopefully be able to do that. That's because, so far, nobody has turned up at this door, and that is good for me. Okay, Foxy is still not on the go. Fantastic. So we are at 3 AM. We are more than halfway through the night now, because obviously, well, we are a good bit into 3 AM. No one's turned up yet, which is simultaneously a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing, because I haven't been in any danger. Bad thing, because I now need to worry about it. I know, I feel like I don't know, maybe I should... I genuinely don't know. Anyway, we are gonna hopefully get through this without too much hassle. Okay, that's 4 AM and we still have quite a bit of power left. Foxy is still just popping his head out, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Also, if I do mess up and Freddy leaves, I'll know because he will have a laugh. Basically, Freddy only ever moves forward, and you can tell when he's moved because he laughs. And hopefully we won't need to worry about that, because in an ideal world, we just completely nullify the guy. Okay, so we are at 4 AM, still no issues. Still no issues, still no one at the door. 10 out of 10. This is actually being a very safe and simple night for me, actually. Okay, so we are closing in on the end of this night, because obviously, once again, once I get a little bit into 5 AM, I can just close a door. I can just close the left door and AFK, and I should still be safe. This has been a very chill night 3. I've watched people play this and seen Night 3 be very hectic before, but yeah, so far this is actually going very well. We've been in zero danger so far. Okay, still at 4 AM, just ticks over to 5. Foxy is still just popping out of Pirate's Cove there for a second. And now, I may have stayed on the camera a little bit too long there, but hey, we are okay. Okay, so now, nope, Foxy still has not moved. Oof. So we are blazing through night 3 like it is nothing. I say that like I'm making the game go faster. No, it's just the passage of time. I wish I could make nights in this game go a little faster, because they do go on a bit long. I know that was a common consensus about this game, and in general, I think they made them really shorter for the as the series went on. Which, to be fair, like these nights are a bit long. I think when I first played it, my main thought was, yeah, like I kind of get it, but also doing like 8.5 minutes per night is maybe a bit long. Although at the same time, I mean, when you're doing a high difficulty thing, I imagine the tension on that becomes insane. Okay, so we are probably about to tick over 6 AM in a few seconds. Hey, Chica. Wow, it took actually until like 5:40 AM. It took until like 5:40 AM to arrive at the door. Good job, Chica. But hey. So, with that, we have successfully survived our 3rd night on the job. Off we go into night number 4, where I'm going to take the exact same strategy and once again be back just as soon as this call ends. Okay, so, F's in the chat for phone guy. So he is, tragically gone, but not forgotten. He will always be there in the hearts and minds of people who play this game for saying many a thing. Insert meme about the... You know what, never mind. Anyway, off we go into night number 4. Also, I don't know why I bothered checking the door like that. I saw that Bonnie hadn't moved yet. Okay, Foxy has not popped out of Pirate's Cove yet. Chica has not arrived at the door. Foxy hasn't done anything. We are still just kind of stunning Freddy into place. It feels a bit weird saying that I'm stunning him into place, but that's... In terms of practicality, that is what I'm doing. However, unlike Night 3, Bonnie is now on the move a lot earlier. So we are going to have to pay a bit of attention to the left side, make sure that Bonnie doesn't get in. Oh, hey, Chica. Wow, you meant to the office at 1 AM today? Good job, buddy! Okay. You know what, maybe I should spend less time talking smack. Maybe I should spend less time talking smack. Can you please leave? Genuinely, please leave. Okay, so I know that it's not like entirely the thing. Oh, that's awful. That is terrible. That is pretty atrocious on my part. Chica, do you please want to leave? Honestly, I should just give up on checking the cameras. Like, I actually is just staying there. Like, this chicken has taken root. actually been there for pretty much an entire hour. Genuinely just draining all the energy possible. And I need to constantly check back because I know that Foxy is gonna go any second. If I'm not careful. To be honest, I'd rather Foxy go so I can just kind of get rid of him. You know, so I can just kind of nullify the problem. But hey, we're getting there. Okay. Okay, Chica, this isn't funny anymore. It's been like an hour and a half. Like, it's actually been like an hour and a half. Go away. Like, genuinely, please go away. It's been like an hour and a half. Finally. Wow. That was awful. That sucked. Okay. Like, look, Foxy, can you just... Buddy, can you just run at me already? Like, this is actually irritating me a little bit. Like, genuinely, just run at me already. Like, I'd rather he just run at me by now. Oh, but also, I need to pay attention to the show stage and everything so I don't get jumped. But yeah, the fact that Chica stayed at the door there for like 2 hours was bad. Was not a fan of that. But hey, hey, hopefully I'll manage. Hopefully I won't need to worry. Okay. Nope, Foxy still hasn't moved. Oops, it's 3 AM. Probably gonna tick over at 4 AM sometime soon, hopefully. Nope, Foxy still has not moved. Oops, Freddy still hasn't moved. I should have checked Pirates Cove again. Pirates Cove, Foxy still has not moved. Fantastic, he's still just hanging around. He's still just hanging around. And Bonnie still has not made his way over here once yet. You know what, maybe it's all a fake out. Maybe I'm not gonna get jumped. Maybe the real test was Chica just staying at the door for 2 hours and draining all of my energy that I needed. Okay, that's 4 AM. Maybe this was the game's way of saying, hey, don't AFK for like 2 nights in a row. But hey, look, it was night 1 and 2. I was allowed to, you know? I'm allowed to. It's my first day. Anyway, we are currently making some decent progress. I should... Maybe if I slow down a bit. If I you know, just slow it down just a teensy little bit. And I can conserve the power just a little bit more. I mean, I say that if Chica turns up at the door again, I'm gonna be annoyed. Because if she sticks around as long as she did last time, I won't be able to check the cameras. Because, I mean, I will, but still. I'd have to close the door and everything, and that'd be pretty bad for me. Okay, so 4 AM. 4 AM, we're gonna take over a 5 soon. Hopefully. Because once I hit 5 AM, I feel like I'm safe. Also, Bonnie has not turned up. Like, Bonnie hasn't turned up. Chica only turned up for once. Freddy is still locked in place. This might not be too bad. I know that if Foxy makes a run for it, he will hit the door for 1% power. Then if he hits it again later, he'll hit for, I think it's 6%. But hey, so far we are managing. But I think I will run out of power and need to kind of just sit and hope for a little bit at the end of the night. But hey, we seem to be okay. Hopefully... Okay, we have 8% left. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely gonna run out of power, but I think I should maybe be safe. Okay. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing? Bonnie actually chose maybe the worst possible time to turn up. Or, I guess, from the animatronics point of view, the best possible time to turn up. Because this is violence against me. But hey, if nothing else, Foxy has not made a run for it. And there's me out of power. So now the question is, do I tick over to 6 AM or do I get attacked? I hope I tick over at 6 AM, but honestly, with how long Chica stayed at the door there, I genuinely think I die here. Because she stayed at that door for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Never mind, we did 10 out of 10, that is night 4 done. And that was, that was very stressful. Because she just stayed at that door for so long. Okay, night 5. The final one of the base game. Obviously, we still have 6 and 7 to do after that. But I will be back to, do my narration for this just as soon as this kind of end of the night call, well, start of night call ends. So I think that's about a minute. Does that count as a threat? I feel like that counts as a threat. Also, I don't know, like, obviously you don't really get a full, detailed description of what's happening there, but, like, was that meant to be, like, Golden Freddy making a phone call and then just the animatronics kind of just, like, yelling over the top of them at the end? And, like, oh, hey, actually, I do think that's a kind of interesting thing. Sorry, but the It's Me's, I think those are really interesting, because given what we learned given what we learned later in the series about, like, the entire Afton family and, like, what happened to Evan and everything, and obviously, specifically, if this only really applies if you subscribe to the idea that Michael is the protagonist of this game going under an alias. But, like, I think it's interesting, because realistically, the It's Me's could be kind of interpreted in a couple of ways. It's because, assumably, the It's Me's are coming from Golden Freddy. So I think that could be interesting in the sense that it could be, like, Evan going, hey, it's me, help if you can, or it's me, it's been 20 years, I'm still mad, I am going to kill you. And I think that is a really interesting, kind of possibility for it. Oh, I misclicked on that, something awful there. Anyway, we are still at 1 AM. We are at 1 AM, which I think is going pretty okay for me so far. 76% power left. If I can make it to 2 AM with 66 left, I'll feel very comfortable. Also, I should probably note my strategy for this. The strategy I'm following for this is basically the same as what we used for nights 3 and 4, where we basically just periodically check in on Pirates Cove, but mostly keep our camera just locked on the show stage. In order to keep Freddy and Foxy in line. Because basically Foxy can get kind of stunned. Like, Foxy kind of gets stunned regardless of where the camera is focused. Freddy, you need to keep the camera on him. Which I guess makes sense, because he is, you know, the star of the show. Also, I should be, to be totally honest, I should probably stop, because, admittedly, my reaction times are getting a bit slower, because I have recorded most of this today. Yeah, basically, it's just uncomfortable to sit here, because it is stupid warm, and I didn't. And I probably should have done, like, some form of wrist exercises or something before I started recording this. It's because, I'll be honest, my wrist kinda hurts. And that's not exactly what I want in a game like this. This is why I need to do a very repetitive action for probably another 5 minutes or so. Because, honestly, if I can make it to... Hi, Bonnie, how are you doing? Once I make it to 5 AM, I'm totally safe. Like, once I make it to 5 AM, my entire strategy is I'm just going to put down the left door and AFK, basically. So if Bonnie would leave so I can save a little bit more power, that would be greatly appreciated. Bonnie, do you want to work with me here, buddy? No? Still no? I see how it is. Okay, there we go. Thanks for leaving, buddy. Thanks for leaving, friend. Now... Oh, I should have turned that off. Whatever. We're doing okay. To be totally honest, I hope we're... Like, I think I'm doing okay. Let's quickly check in on Foxy. He isn't even popping out of Pirate's Cove yet. So that is fantastic. That's good for me. And now we are well, we're a little more than halfway through the night. Right, so, that should be pretty good. But, also, to be totally honest, night 5 is where I start... Well, okay, I say night 5 is where I start getting very stressed about it. To be totally honest, that isn't necessarily accurate, because realistically, that would require having played a lot of this game before. But yeah, I feel like nights 6 and 7 are going to be very stressful, and I'm going to need to focus a lot, so I'm not... I mean, realistically, as you can probably tell, I'm just kind of rambling to fill in space right now. Oh, but yeah, for nights 6 and 7, I've probably mentioned this multiple times already. For nights 6 and 7, I will have just kind of organized it in such a way that I'll have played the game, and then I'll record my narration in post. Okay, that's 4 AM. Fantastic. Hi, Bonnie. How you doing? Has Chica even come to the door yet? Like, I don't think Chica's come to the door once. And I left those cameras off for a long time there. But Foxy is still not coming out of Pirate's Cove, so I will call that a win on my part. I probably should have checked in on him again there. Anyway, we are most of the way there. Once it ticks over at 5 AM, I think I can basically just AFK. And with that, we'll have finished our 5th shift. Hey Chica, how you doing? Okay, Foxy still isn't there. Chica has just left. Bonnie isn't here. Freddy still has not moved. I know the entire strategy for us is kind of like Foxy and Freddy mitigation. At this point, it's basically been Foxy and Freddy nullification, because they have not moved today. Hey. Also, I should probably note, I know I've probably mentioned this multiple times as I've recorded this, because I'm recording this in like 5 separate sections. Basically, I've done night 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, all individually. I say that 6 and 7 still obviously need to be recorded after this, but you get the point. And pretty much, yeah. So far, I think this is going pretty okay. There's 5 AM. There's 5 AM. I'm just going to wait it out a little bit longer. And now, let's just wait it out until Chica leaves. Let's wait it out until Chica leaves. Chica, do you want to leave, please? Do you want to leave, please? Would you like to leave? There we go. Okay, now I can just AFK, and we should be good. Let's just click the nose a couple of times. Okay, with that, we should be good to go. Oh, I've taken my hand off the mouse and the keyboard, and we should be good to go until the end here. Because Chica and Freddy can't get in, Bonnie can't get in, Foxy can't get in. So unless I get attacked by some major glitch that's never been discovered in 10 years of this game existing, we should be in the clear from here on out. Also, Freddy's left, so they're just like, hey, he's moved. But hey, we'll be totally fine. We might run out of power, but there's no way I die here. So we should tick over at 6 AM in just a few seconds. We might run out of power, but there's no way we get attacked before it ticks over. Unless I get the worst RNG of all time. But there we go, there's 6 AM, that is our 5 shifts complete, 10 out of 10, always a good thing. Right, so that is night 5 done, but obviously we still have night 6 and night 7 to do. I mean, usually this would be where I end off the episode, but I'm just gonna, make a cut going directly into night 6. So, well, yeah, I will be right back into night 6. Off we go. Okay, so, time to clock in for our 6th shift, and this is the first time I'm going to be doing a post-commentary for a prolonged bit of gameplay, and not just a little note. So hopefully this isn't going to be too jarring and out of place, and hopefully I can ramble on for long enough to fill out the entire night. Honestly, to try to get this done, I've made a good few notes that I'm going to try to follow. Oh, and that's basically just things to ramble on about. Once again, I am playing the game in windowed mode, so I just hit Alt-Enter as soon as I opened the game. So if the audio dips out for a second every now and then, I basically just accidentally clicked outside the window by accident. And basically the strategy here is going to be the same as nights 3, 4 and 5, just keeping the camera focused on the show stage to keep Freddy and Foxy in place, and flipping the cameras very frequently, checking the lights to make sure that Bonnie and Chica don't get in. Periodically we're also going to check in on Pirate's Cove to make sure that Foxy isn't making a run for it, but if he is, we just slam the left door closed and check for West Hall, so you'll kind of just run down the corridor, hit the door and reset. Then we just rinse and repeat until around about 5 AM or a little bit after which I'll basically just go for my same strategy that I usually do, which is kind of get a little bit after 5 AM, close the left door, because at that point I'm completely safe, Bonnie can't get in, Foxy can't get in, and because I'm not looking at the cameras, Chica and Freddy also can't get in, and basically just AFK and hope for the best. Now that I'm doing this in post-commentary, I can have a much less stressful mention of what I was trying to say in some of the earlier nights. It's about kind of just my experience and history with the series, I guess. I mean, I say that, I'm watching my gameplay back while I do this, so even though I know what happens, this is still actually a little bit stressful for me, and I don't really have any legitimate reason as to why. But yeah, basically, my experience with the series was watching the first game, just like everyone else did, and being intrigued by all the hidden lore at the time and what it could all mean. This was back before even the first episode of Game Theory on the series, and I remember back then, people were certain that Foxy's jump scare, just being him kind of leaning into the office, meant that he was a good guy, just kind of checking in to see if you were okay. Which, to be fair, I think does get a little bit of credence later with the, what's it called? With the Foxy Go 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 minigame in 2. No. To be totally honest, 2 was also where I was super interested. Like, I think 2 was kind of where my interest really peaked, because it gave so much kind of information and backstory and everything. And also, I think some of the Wizard animatronics still look really cool. And also, fun fact, I was actually on my way back from my friend's house on Halloween when the trailer for 2 dropped, and my first thought was, no doors, that's going to be impossible. I said as someone who had not played the first one. I mean, I say that I bought the first one in the Steam Halloween sale, and, before I started recording this video, I'd played a grand total of about 20 minutes. So yeah, that's, kind of my history with 1 and 2. I did start to lose a bit of interest with 3, and honestly, I'm still not quite 100% certain as to exactly why that was. I know that Springtrap's jump scare wasn't all that great, but knowing what we know now, I think it makes a lot more sense. I think the phantoms generally seemed kind of more annoying than anything. I know they serve a purpose in gameplay, and are kind of a little punishment for, not keeping an eye on the, what's it called? I forget what it's called. Like the panel stuff, I forget what it's called. But yeah, I think my main issue with it was actually that it just wasn't a nice game to look at. And by that I mean I just hated having to look at the awful shades of yellowy green. Or is it be more greeny yellow for the entire game. And honestly, that kind of killed a lot of my interest in it, because just like, Okay, generally I'm not someone who's that bothered about visuals, but I don't know, that it just wasn't a pleasant game to look at. Although I will say that I think the way that Springtrap hides on all of the cameras, I think that's super cool. Well, and actually adds to that game's horror really well. And then 4 is a bit of a weird one for me, because while I watched 4, I never really gave it all that much thought at the time. My interest was basically gone after 4 games within the same calendar year, and somewhat ironically, as time's gone on, 4 has actually become the one that I actually find the most interesting. But hey, that's so yeah, that's something, I guess. Then I saw Sister Location get announced and paid no real attention to it, assuming that it was basically just going to be more of the same, and then I didn't hear anything about it until months after it came out, and then, as it turned out, it actually was kinda different. After that, there was Pizzeria Simulator, which, I'll be totally honest, I genuinely thought it was an actual Pizzeria Simulator game for a while, and didn't know it had the office sections until months later. But I do think that its ending is a great definitive endpoint for the story as it was. And then there's, is it Ultimate Custom Night, or is it Ultra Custom Night or something? UCN, whatever, I forget what the U stands for. I think it's Ultimate Custom Night. I'm very bad with some of these names sometimes. Which, to be totally honest, for a while, I didn't know if it was an official game or a fan game or what. To be totally honest, I initially thought it was a joke, because the first gameplay I saw of it seemed like one of those videos where, like, another UI element from a random game gets added every couple of seconds, until you just can't tell what you're actually looking at anymore. Like, it seemed like a genuine... Like, I genuinely thought it was a joke game, or a seizure hazard. It looked like a game that I would get a headache from playing. And, yeah, that was my initial thought on UCN. Although, credit where it's due, it actually turned out to be a really kind of cool one. Honestly, after that, I started checking in every now and then, just over the years, just to kind of see how the franchise was doing. Help Wanted VR seemed like a really great idea. These games in VR seemed like they would be super intense, and really kind of scary. And then there is the Curse of Dreadbear DLC, which, to be honest, I've never really paid all that much attention to, but it included Grim Foxy, which may be one of my favourite animatronic designs in the series. If it's not number 1, it's definitely up there. And then there was Security Breach, which, admittedly, I've never watched it, I've never played it, but all I've ever really heard is that it kind of ruins the story, that it was a buggy mess, and that it gets a little bit better with the Ruin DLC. But just like with all of these games, it's not really fair for me to cast a judgment on them because I haven't played them. So, I don't know, at some point, maybe I'll look into them in my free time. I will say, I think the Sun and the Moon one, animatronics, they look kind of cool. I think those are kind of neat. But hey, we've made it to 5 AM. And I've also kind of run out of notes for night 6. This is night 6. 10, me looking at a screen and a little... 10, me looking at the screen and a notepad document that says night 6 and still nearly calling it night 5. But yeah, so now I just, check the cameras one more time. And kinda just sit and wait it out from here on out. Actually, that could be a fun little thing. Like, just seeing, where I... Just, like, doing a tier list of, like, how much I like the designs of all of the animatronics. But also, I don't think I'm particularly qualified to, like, talk about artistic design and stuff. That is not really my area of expertise. But hey, we are just about done with night number 6, so that's pretty good. And, actually, just going back to 4 for a second. Yeah, 4's just super interesting. To be totally honest, I think part of the main reason why I'm a bit reluctant to play it is because it seems to be, like, the most sound-based one, and I don't really want to have to risk... And it seems like one of those issues that horror movies often have, where it's like, it's really quiet, and then it's just stupid loud all of a sudden. Which doesn't seem exactly ideal for me. But hey, with that we make it to 6 AM, very stressful work for 50 cents worth of overtime pay. But hey, I guess we're Employee of the Month now, so that's something. So hey, we're now Employee of the Month. We've worked here a grand total of 6 days, and we are Employee of the Month. I will call that pretty good for our first week on the job. Okay, time to clock in for our final shift at Freddy's. Let's make it a good one as I turn the AI difficulty all the way up to the maximum. To be totally honest, I remember hearing somewhere that Night 6 is actually way harder than 420 mode, mostly because Bonnie and Chica stay at the door for us for longer, and obviously they can drain the power more that way, but I genuinely don't know, because on 420 mode, Foxy is probably way more active. And obviously if he hits the door a second time, that's, I think it starts doing like 6% at a time. But if someone does know, please let me know, I would genuinely quite like to know. For Night 7 though, we're going to need to adjust our strategy a bit from what we've used for most of the rest of the game. Basically, because the AI is so much more active and aggressive on 2020 mode, don't know why I said it like that time, I don't think there's a way that we can realistically keep Freddy trapped on the show stage this time. A TAS run might be able to, but I really don't know. And if someone knows the answer to that, also please tell me. So instead, we're basically just going to put our camera on 4B right outside our office, and keep it there for pretty much the entire night. You will know when Freddy has moved because he does his laugh, and he only ever moves forward. So unlike Bonnie and Chica, who will get to the door, maybe stick around for a little bit and then leave, once Freddy is at the door, he stays at the door. Also, I have no idea how I didn't die there, but Freddy will only attack if we switch cameras while the door is open. So in order to prevent this, we'll basically be closing the right door every single time we go to check on Foxy over in Pirate's Cove, then clicking back to 4B before we close the camera, otherwise Freddy will attack and we'll die. Also, I still don't know how I didn't die there either. So pretty much, yeah, we need to do that, and basically we may also need to conserve power a little more than usual here. Fortunately for me, Chica gets visual priority on the camera over Freddy, so I can actually just focus my attention onto the left door and making sure that Bonnie doesn't get in. So as usual, we can just do the same strategy that we've been doing in terms of light camera, light camera, light camera, but we only focus on the left door until we see Chica on 4B. Now when we bring the camera back up and Freddy is on the monitor, then we check the right door, and if Chica's there then, we close it, and obviously then Chica turning up will prove to be a great help, because it gives us just a little bit of a break to check in on Foxy, and make sure that he isn't making a run for it, because obviously Foxy is a bit of a danger in this one, because obviously you need to keep an eye on Freddy, and basically you need to deal with Freddy at all times and keep him in the back of your mind, but you also need to make sure that Foxy isn't making a run for it, because realistically, and I feel like quite often you'd probably die to Bonnie or Chica, but that's largely because I feel like they're running distraction for Freddy and Foxy, if that makes sense. Okay. So, we are now nearly at 2 AM, and I'm going to be totally honest, I am nearly through all of the notes that I had for Night 7, so I am doing great. Also, once again, just like every other night I've done in the entire game, I am playing this night in windowed mode, so I hit Alt-Enter as soon as I open the game. So there is one bit close to the end where sound will kind of like blip out for a second. Basically, I was just getting super nervous near the end and just kind of accidentally clicked out for a second. Wasn't exactly great, but hey, here we are. And there is Foxy making a run for it. Right. There's the first hit on the door, but now that he's hit the door, we can just quickly go back immediately. And I nearly threw the game away right there. I nearly threw the game away right there, because I nearly left the camera on the West Hall. Fortunately, I remembered just in time to avoid it, because otherwise I would have absolutely died to Freddy, and that would have been pretty bad for me. Mostly because, at this point, I am fully in, okay, I haven't died yet mode. Like, at this point, I am still deathless for the entire game, and I would love to keep it that way. Partially because I think the jump scare sound in the first game especially is kind of the worst one. It's by far the one I like hearing the least. I can tolerate the ones in the other games, but this one's just so loud and kind of high pitch. I know why it is like that, because I know it's meant to be like kind of a scream and everything, but like, yeah, I've never liked the jump scare noise in this game. But hey, we are now at 3 AM, so we are just a bit over halfway, and once again, we're doing just fine. Because, also, doing a quick check on the West Hall there, I don't know what I'm even doing there. Like, I don't think I even checked on Pirates Cove. Watching this back now, I have no idea what I was doing there. Why did I... Like, I'm certain I only checked on the West Hall then, not Pirates Cove. Am I gonna check on Pirates Cove now? I think I am. No? I'll be honest, I'm watching myself play this back while I'm recording this, and even I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, obviously, I'm not exactly a strategic mastermind. And to be totally honest, my strategy for Night 7... well, obviously, my strategy for the rest of the nights was basically like, hey, I watched videos, and like, hey, this is a guide on how to do it. But just to kind of figure out and learn some strategies to maximize my chances. And, well, I can't really complain. If anything, I can give a glowingly positive review. Because obviously, we've made it halfway through Night 7 and beat the entire rest of the game without dying. Obviously, we've had some pretty good RNG up to this point. But, yeah. So far, I would call that a monumental success for me. Also, it is now 4 AM, we have 2 hours left to deal with, and I think it's around about this time that it starts being visible a bit, and starts becoming a bit clearer for the rest of the run, that this is where I'm starting to get really nervous. I'm starting to move a little bit slower, missing some clicks, and I knew at this point that I was absolutely going to run out of power by the end, so I knew that I would have to rely on a little bit of luck. I knew I was below 50 by 3 AM, so that wasn't exactly great for me, because I know that I like to keep 16% an hour. Like, 16% an hour, I don't know how I didn't die there. I mean, I assume I probably had like an additional second or something before Bonnie would have jammed the door or something. But yeah, I typically try to keep 16% an hour and then have the 4% left over, just as a little kind of a leeway for one way or another, which obviously does not take into account the potential for a second Foxy attack, which would be very, very bad for me, because, yeah, a second Foxy attack, I think would basically mean I am guaranteed dead at this point. And I feel like it's very... Well, now that we're near the end, I feel like they're kind of doing, like, one last onslaught. Like, Bonnie turned up, Chica just turned up, Freddy's been a looming threat the entire night. Obviously, Foxy is a permanent, always there threat. And now we are down to 10%. We hit, I think it was 13% when we ticked over at 5 AM. So, yeah. And pretty much... Oh, okay, at that point, I moved the mouse a bit too far to the left and accidentally clicked out of the window when I was aiming to click on the light, so that's why that sound just quickly dipped out for a second there. And at this point, I think it's around about this point, I kind of just lock in on, okay, it's the final few percent, I think I'm near the end of 5 AM, I just take my hand off the mouse, and at this point, I am just leaving it all up to luck. That wait in the dark was one of the biggest worries I think I've ever had in a game. But we make it to 6 AM, beat the entire game deathless, and we get fired, and don't even get our 50% of overtime for that. that, which is extremely funny that we went from Employee of the Month to getting fired for general unprofessionalism in one singular night. Also, apparently we smell bad. And now is when I get to drop a secret on you that I've been keeping for this entire video. I played almost this entire game without sound. The audio is still fully there in the video, but aside from listening to Phone Guy's calls so I wasn't talking over him, I played the entire game without sound from start to finish, just so I wouldn't have to hear the jump scare noise if I suddenly died, because I really cannot stand that sound. I knew Freddy's laughing was a gameplay mechanic, but I never heard footsteps in the halls or Chica clattering around in the kitchen in gameplay, which is why I may have pointlessly checked the lights a ton. But anyway, with that, we're done. I got through the entire game deathless, and I've mentioned it a few times, but I genuinely couldn't have done it without the culmination of knowledge and strategy around this game that's been built up by its extremely dedicated fanbase over the years. I'm definitely more of a casual observer of the series as opposed to a die-hard fan, but I did have quite a bit of fun playing this for the anniversary. Will I do 2 and the later games? Maybe at some point. I'll definitely be playing Into the Pit in my free time at some point. But with that, I'm just about ready to clock out. And no, I'm not just going to drop a random jump scare on you at the end of this video, don't worry about it. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any of the buttons down below if you feel so inclined, and I'll hopefully see you all again either for the finale of Resident Evil tomorrow, or for whatever it is I'm doing next. Okay, thanks for watching, happy anniversary, later.